So in the last half of video 4, of video 5, I'm sorry, and in the beginning of this video, video 6, or lesson 6, I should say, in the first half of lesson 5 and the second half of lesson 5 and the first half of the beginning of lesson 6 now, all we're doing is going over solving linear equations. And I just want to take a second to summarize each of those steps. The first thing you do is you're Peyton Manning coming up to the football line and you say, okay, let me survey the defense here. Is this a same side situation or is it an opposite side situation? Second, you work toward a standard two-stepper. If it's the same side, you do the same operation. If it's opposite side, you do the opposite operation. Eventually, you should get to the point where it's a standard two-stepper. It's routine. It's business as usual. At that point, it's isolate the variable and solve. Get the letter on one side, number on the other. If the problem asks you to check, you can check. You know, I'm not big on asking to check, but every once in a while they do. And we will have covered a few examples of checking before all is said and done. All right, so here's an example of a problem done step by step, showing how the strategy we just discussed is being used. The problem says 4 times 2x plus 1 minus 29 is 3 times 2x minus 5. One thing I didn't mention there, but it's pretty standard for math, is if you see a number outside parentheses, distribute. So the very first step here is to distribute the 4 times 2x plus 1, which gives me 8x plus 4. And on the other side of the equation, I distribute the 3, and I get 6x minus 15. Then I look at this equation, and I say, okay, wait a minute. I got a little same side thing going on here with the 4 and the negative 29. So I combine those. Notice I didn't say 4 minus 29. I said this is a positive 4. This is a negative 29. I combine them. I get a negative 25. So when I look at this one, this is an opposite side, opposite operation situation. Opposite side, opposite operation. This says plus 6x, so I do minus 6x. Rather than write them vertically like I do and draw a line, they just write them horizontally on the same line. It's the same exact step. So working left to right, which we always want to do so we don't lose track of where we are, 8x minus 6x is 2x, minus 25 is negative 15. Now we're at standard two-stepper range, which is an opposite side for the numbers. I add 25 to both sides. That's what he's doing on this line right here that I copied this from. And I'm left with a 2x on the left, and on the right, negative 15 and 25 is 10. Dividing by 2, x is 5. And if you want to have some fancy mathematical notation, we would say the solution set is 5. Bottom line is, the answer is 5. All right, so we're going to do a little stop and start here. I have a series of 10 questions for you to do, and we're going to do this a little bit differently. When I teach this in class, I'm going to put up the answers to all 10 and just ask the kids if they have any questions about them as they compare their work to my work. It's going to be handwritten. In the case of you guys, I'm just going to highlight some important points, things to look out for. So, stop and start, answer all 10 of these questions, and then I'll show you the answers to all 10. All right, so here's the answers to each of those 10 questions. Now, what are some things that I think are important? Well, I think in the first problem, it's important to recognize that after I distribute the 3, remember we distribute first, we just went over that a minute ago, and had mentioned it before, then I see, oh, they're same side. And once I get them in same side, 3W, 1W make 4W. Looking over at B, that's just a standard opposite side, opposite operation situation. You should be very comfortable with that. Letter C is a little bit of an expanded same side, same operation. This time there's 3 different terms with an N in it. 2N and 2N and 1N make 5N. And there's also 2 numbers that are on the same side. Negative 1 and 3 make 2. So letter C looks like this big, fancy, complicated equation, but the truth is that the power of same side, same operation. You can see that its power just takes that really long-looking equation and simplifies it to something that's very much like what you're so comfortable used to working with. Okay, letter D, you just have to make sure that you distribute right away to both sides, and then it's an opposite side, opposite operation situation. A, B, C, D. This should say, oh, you know what it is? It was A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D. So this is the second A. Distribute the 5. You know, same side, same operation. Letter B, I want to talk a little bit about here because there's a danger moment. It's an opposite operation situation. I think everybody would be all over subtracting the 2n here or adding negative 2n to both sides. That's perfect. I bet you every kid in the class does that. But I'll bet you at least a few students in the class, see this 21 here? Remember what I've been talking about with Mr. and Mrs. Lindquist? How Lindquist, you look before it, and that tells you if it's the Mr., tells you it's boy Lindquist, and Mrs. tells you it's the girl Lindquist. Well, with numbers, it's the same thing. You peek in front to say if there's positive or negative. This is not 21. This is negative 21. And a lot of times, students will take this step right here, and when they bring it down, because it's still left on that side, they'll only put a 21. They won't put a negative 21. So look on your paper right now and see if you made that mistake. One of the things that we like to say over the years is, when I see this negative 21 here, okay, I like to think, danger, danger, danger. This is the second most deadly snake in the whole world. One little bite from this beauty, you're a goner. And you get nailed. Steve Irwin, hero of mine, great guy. Also a nut job. He'd pick up like a black mamba or a rattlesnake or some other super poisonous snake like adder, some kind of adder. And he's like, oh, she's a beautiful, one bite from this beauty. And that's what it is with these equations. One bite from this beauty, and man, oh man, you're going to get nailed. Okay? Letter C is another one of these multiple same side situation things here. We got to get all our ends and all our numbers together. Letter D, we're really trying to emphasize similar techniques on these things. What we're going to do is distribute to both sides. Make sure we do that. And then the letters A and B underneath that. Letter A, just distribute, and then same side, same operation. Letter B goes right to opposite side, opposite operation situation. Okay? All right. Now, the next thing we talk about is fractions. Oh, Lord, do kids hate fractions. And we'll get into this when we begin the very next slide.